The price increase you notice first may not be the one that matters most. A new 50% tariff now applies to hundreds of Canadian products entering the United States, but the larger risk to your budget could come later through cars, home repairs, fuel, power, and even food. Now, Canada announced its own tariffs on about $20 billion of American goods, with rates of 15, 25, and 50% scheduled to begin September 8th. Those Canadian tariffs are charged on American products entering Canada, so they do not directly add a tax to items at a store in the United States. They can still hurt American farmers, factories, and workers if Canadian buyers cut orders, but that effect arrives through sales and jobs rather than your checkout receipt. The more direct pressure on American shoppers comes from the United States tariff that took effect August 22nd. It places an additional 50% duty on roughly $20 billion of Canadian goods. The importer in the United States generally pays that charge at the border. Then the importer can absorb it, ask the Canadian supplier to lower its price, switch sources, reduce its profit, or pass some of the cost along. And that last part explains why a 50% tariff does not mean every affected shelf price rises by 50%. Suppose an imported item was valued at $20 when it crossed the border. The tariff may be based on that import value, while the final retail price also includes shipping, distribution, and store costs. Businesses may share the burden, and older inventory may delay the change, so the increase you see could be smaller and later. So what products should you watch first? The current list reaches into many parts of household, including selected Canadian honey, beer, cider, clothing, gloves, bags, perfume, cosmetics, plates, lighting products, paints, vinyl flooring, plywood, sporting goods, toys, paper products, cameras, smartphones, and game systems. But country of origin matters. A phone sold by a Canadian company is not automatically Canadian-made, and a tariff on one customs category does not cover every product with a similar name. So, the thing is to check where a specific product was made before assuming its price will rise. If a store can replace a Canadian brand with a similar American product or an import from another country, the category price may barely change. If the item is specialized or a business has depended on one Canadian supplier for years, the cost may be harder to avoid. That is where a targeted tariff can create a very noticeable increase, even while the national inflation effect stays modest. Home projects are a good example. Plywood, vinyl flooring, paint, lighting fixtures, and furniture-related items are among the covered categories. You may never buy an imported sheet of plywood yourself, but a cabinet maker or contractor might. A higher material bill can then become one part of a renovation quote, mixed together with labor, transportation, financing, and other supplies. Also, there is a reason not to panic buy. The newest package covers only about 5% of the goods Canada sent to the United States last year. Total United States trade in goods and services with Canada reached an estimated $872.3 billion in 2025, and goods imports from Canada were about $381.9 billion. The tariff is severe, but it applies to a limited portion of a very large relationship. That scale matters because the near-term effect is more likely to be scattered than economy-wide. One brand of honey could become more expensive while another does not. A retailer may use inventory purchased before August 22nd or accept a smaller margin for a while. The longer the tariff remains, however, the more likely contracts reset, inventories run out, and businesses make lasting changes. Now, cars are the bigger issue to watch. The newest 50% package excluded cars and auto parts, but President Trump said tariffs on Canadian cars, trucks, auto parts, and steel will rise to 50% on January 1st, 2027. That is an announced future increase, not a current 50% charge on every Canadian vehicle. The final impact could also depend on exemptions, trade agreement treatment, and any agreement reached before then. And North American auto production is unusually connected. A vehicle assembled in Canada may contain American components, while an American plant may rely on Canadian parts. Some parts cross the border more than once during production. A tariff inside that network can raise costs for a vehicle finished in the United States, reduce dealer incentives, or lead a manufacturer to spread an increase across several models. Energy is another category where the difference between today and tomorrow really matters. Canadian crude oil was excluded from this newest 50% tariff package. The United States imported an average of about 3.9 million barrels of Canadian crude per day in 2025, and American energy imports from Canada were worth about $111 billion. Because many refineries are designed around particular types of crude, replacing that supply quickly would not be simple. So, it would be misleading to blame this new tariff list for an immediate nationwide increase in gasoline prices. Oil becomes a much larger concern only if the dispute expands through new tariffs or supply restrictions. Electricity is similar. Canadian Power is a regional support rather than the main source for the country. But New York imported 52 gigawatt hours from Canada on July 3rd during heavy summer demand, showing why northern markets can be more exposed. Also, the grocery connection is less direct, but worth watching. The United States relied on imports for about 92% of its potash use in 2025, and Canada supplied 79% of American potash imports over the 2021 through 2024 period. Potash is used mainly in fertilizer. If it became part of the conflict, higher farm costs could eventually move through crops, livestock feed, food processing, and then grocery prices. But potash is not part of this newest 50% United States package, so that is a risk scenario, not a price increase already proven at the supermarket. Weather, fuel, disease, labor, transportation, and retailer competition all move food prices too. The same caution applies to electricity and oil. Watch the policy boundary between products currently taxed and supplies that political leaders have only discussed using as leverage. And Canada's retaliation matters in a different way. A United States appliance maker, seafood business, steel company, or farm that sells into Canada could lose orders after the September 8th countertariffs begin. That may mean less overtime, delayed investment, or job pressure in communities tied to Canadian customers. For those households, the cost of the trade war may show up in income before it appears in a store price. So before making a big purchase, separate 3 questions. Is the exact product Canadian in origin and covered now? Is the price only indirectly exposed through parts or materials, or is the risk based on a tariff that has been announced for later or merely threatened? That simple check can keep a dramatic headline from pushing you into an unnecessary purchase. It also helps you focus on your own budget instead of trying to predict every turn in a negotiation. For now, expect selective pressure rather than every price rising at once. Watch Canadian-made household goods and building materials first. Keep an eye on the January auto deadline and treat energy and fertilizer as escalation risks. The calm response is not to rush out and buy everything. It is to compare brands, check country of origin, leave room in major purchase plans, and follow whether the two governments narrow this dispute or move it into the supply chains that reach much deeper into American life.